Before we start, if you care about staying strong, healthy, and active after 50, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. We share doctor-backed tips every week, simple things that can literally change how you age. Now, here's something shocking. Most seniors are losing muscle every single year, not because of age, but because they're missing one single vitamin. A vitamin that your doctor probably never mentioned. Yet studies show it can actually rebuild muscle tissue, even in people over 80. Sounds impossible? Well, keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this vitamin is, how it works, and the right way to get enough of it safely. Let's dive in. The silent muscle crisis. Most people over 50 start to notice small things. The stairs feel a little steeper. The grocery bags seem heavier than last year. You sit down in your favorite chair and realize it takes a bit more effort to stand back up. It's easy to brush it off and think, well, that's just getting older. But here's the truth many don't hear often enough. That slow loss of strength isn't only about age. It's about something deeper happening inside your muscles. Every single year after your 40s, your body naturally begins to lose a small portion of muscle tissue. It may be only 1% a year, but that adds up over decades. By the time someone reaches their 70s or 80s, they might have lost nearly half of their muscle strength compared to their younger years. That's not just about looks or lifting weights. It affects balance, posture, walking, even the ability to get out of bed safely. Doctors call this process sarcopenia. It sounds like a complicated medical word, but it simply means age-related muscle loss. And here's the important part. Sarcopenia doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, quietly, without pain. You don't feel it starting. You only notice it when the things you used to do without thinking start to feel harder. Many people believe this decline is inevitable. They think everyone gets weaker with age, right? Yet new medical research tells a different story. Yes, time changes our bodies, but how fast we lose muscle depends a lot on what's going on inside, our hormones, activity levels, and especially our nutrition. Your muscles are living tissues. They respond to what you feed them, how you move, and whether your body has the right raw materials to rebuild after daily wear and tear. Here's where it gets fascinating. Inside every muscle cell are tiny repair teams, proteins and enzymes that rebuild the fibers after each use. To do their job, they rely on nutrients that tell the body, it's time to repair, it's time to grow. When those signals are missing, the repair slows down, the fibers shrink, and strength fades away little by little. Most older adults don't notice because it feels gradual. Maybe a jar lid becomes harder to open, or carrying laundry up the stairs leaves you winded. Over time, that loss of power can change how independent someone feels. It can even raise the risk of falls and injuries, which often lead to hospital stays or long recovery times. But here's the hopeful part. This isn't a one-way street. Scientists now know that the muscle system in older adults is highly responsive when given the right conditions. That means with proper movement and nutrition, your body can still repair and rebuild muscle, even at 80 or beyond. The key is understanding what the body is missing. So what's going wrong? For decades, doctors focused mainly on protein intake. And yes, protein matters. But more recent studies show that a surprising number of seniors eat enough protein and still lose muscle. That discovery made researchers look deeper into micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that act like sparks inside the engine. Without those sparks, even the best fuel won't ignite. Think of it this way. Your muscles are like a construction site. The protein is the bricks, the exercise is the work crew, but the vitamins are the blueprints and tools. Without the tools, the workers can't build, no matter how many bricks they have. And one particular vitamin seems to be the tool everyone's forgetting about, the one that activates the entire rebuilding process. We'll talk about that vitamin in a moment. But first, remember this. Losing strength isn't just about getting older. It's about what your body is, or isn't, being given to stay strong. Once you understand that, aging stops being a slow decline and becomes something you can influence every single day. So if you've noticed your arms or legs feeling a bit weaker, or if you want to stay active for the next decades of your life, stay with me. In the next section, we'll look at what modern science has discovered about the real reason behind muscle loss, and the simple nutrient that might turn it all around. What doctors are now discovering. It started with a puzzle. Doctors kept seeing patients who exercised, ate well, even took protein shakes, yet their muscle strength continued to fade year after year. Something wasn't adding up. If these people were doing everything right, why were their muscles still shrinking? So researchers began digging deeper, not into the gym routines or calorie counts, but into the tiny chemical messages inside the body. What they found changed how we think about aging altogether. They discovered that the process of building muscle, called muscle protein synthesis, doesn't depend only on exercise and protein. It also relies on specific vitamins and minerals that act like on switches inside your cells. Without them, your body simply doesn't receive the signal to rebuild. You could be eating the perfect diet, but the muscles stay in standby mode. One of those key activators turned out to be a simple, overlooked vitamin, one that most people associate only with bones, not with strength or energy. In study after study, doctors began noticing a strange pattern. Patients who had low levels of this vitamin also had weaker grip strength, slower walking speed, and poorer balance. Even mild deficiencies, levels that most doctors once called normal, were enough to reduce how efficiently muscles repaired themselves. To confirm this, scientists began controlled trials. They gave one group of older adults small daily doses of this vitamin, while the other group got none. After a few months, the difference was remarkable. The group with the vitamin not only had stronger muscle fibers, but they also reported less fatigue, better posture, and even improved recovery after illness or surgery. What's more, brain imaging showed that this same vitamin supports communication between muscles and nerves, helping the body coordinate movement more smoothly. That means fewer stumbles, quicker reactions, and more confidence while walking. And yet, despite all this evidence, almost everyone over 50 is deficient. In fact, researchers estimate that over 90% of seniors don't get the daily amount their body truly needs. Why? Because this vitamin doesn't come only from food. Our bodies are designed to make it naturally, but only under certain conditions that become harder to meet as we age. Think about it. When we were younger, we spent more time outdoors, moving, soaking up sunlight. But as the years pass, we tend to stay indoors more, cover our skin, or avoid the sun completely. Medications, slower metabolism, and thinner skin all make it harder for the body to produce this essential compound. The result? The internal muscle repair system gradually powers down. The irony is that this discovery isn't brand new. It's been quietly known in research circles for years. But it's only recently that doctors have started to connect it directly to muscle health, not just bone density. And once they did, the results were hard to ignore. In older adults with sufficient levels of this vitamin, muscle tone improved, falls decreased, and overall energy returned. Patients described it as feeling like my body finally woke up again. So, what is this mystery nutrient that's turning heads in medical journals and clinics around the world? What is this overlooked factor that could mean the difference between growing weaker each year, or feeling steady, strong, and capable even at 80? You'll find out in the next section. But here's a hint. It's something your body was designed to make for free, with nothing more than sunlight, a little time, and the right habits. And once you understand how it works, you'll see why so many doctors now call it the missing key to aging well. The forgotten vitamin. It's something you've heard of your whole life. Your doctor may have mentioned it in passing, usually when talking about bones or calcium. But few realize this same vitamin quietly controls one of the most powerful systems in your body. The system that decides whether your muscles stay strong or slowly fade away. I'm talking about vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. Now, most people think of vitamin D as something that keeps bones hard and teeth healthy. And yes, that's true. It helps your body absorb calcium. But here's what surprises even many health professionals. Your muscles actually have vitamin D receptors. Think of them like small locks waiting for the right key. When vitamin D attaches to those receptors, it activates genes that tell the body, repair, rebuild, grow stronger. Without enough vitamin D, those locks stay closed. The muscles don't get the full signal to rebuild. They grow slower, tire faster, and recover poorly. Over time, that missing signal adds up. And what looks like normal aging is often just a long-term vitamin D deficiency. Several major studies have confirmed this. In older adults, low vitamin D levels are strongly linked to weaker leg strength, slower walking, and more frequent falls. In one experiment, simply raising vitamin D blood levels within a safe range improved muscle performance and reduced the feeling of exhaustion during daily activity. So why do so many people lack it? The main source isn't food, it's sunlight. When sunlight touches your skin, it triggers a chemical reaction that creates vitamin D naturally. The problem is, as we age, the skin becomes thinner and less efficient at making it. Add in modern lifestyles, more time indoors, sunscreen, long winters, and clothing that covers most of the body. And you can see why deficiency is nearly universal among seniors. In fact, doctors estimate that over 90% of adults past 60 have levels below the optimal range. And what's tricky is, you can't always feel it. You might just notice fatigue, joint discomfort, slower recovery, or that sense of being out of shape, even if you haven't changed your habits. Here's another layer to the story. Vitamin D also influences the balance between calcium and phosphorus in your blood, minerals that your muscles and nerves need to communicate properly. When levels are low, that communication becomes sluggish. Your reflexes slow down and your coordination suffers. That's why deficiency doesn't just weaken the body. It can subtly affect confidence and movement control. The good news? Once vitamin D levels are restored, the body often responds quickly. Patients describe having more energy, steadier steps, and improved mood. Yes, mood. Vitamin D also affects serotonin, the feel-good chemical in the brain. When your mind and body feel stronger together, everyday life simply becomes easier. But before anyone rushes to buy supplements, there's an important note. Not all vitamin D is the same. The form your body absorbs best is D3, also known as cholecalciferol. And while supplements can help, the safest and most natural way is still sunlight in moderation, around 15 to 30 minutes a few times a week, depending on your skin tone and climate. Of course, balance is key. Too much sun can damage the skin, and too many supplements can raise calcium too high. That's why it's always smart to have your 25-hydroxy vitamin D level checked before starting anything new. It's a simple blood test that tells you exactly where you stand. So yes, the sunshine vitamin truly is the forgotten key to muscle strength. It's not magic, and it won't replace good nutrition or movement. But without it, your muscles can't fully do their job. In the next part, we'll look at something equally important: how to get enough of this vitamin safely and how to help your body actually use it. Because taking it the right way makes all the difference between wasting it and feeling it work. How to get enough safely. Now that you know how vital vitamin D is, the next question becomes, how do you actually get enough of it? And how do you do it safely? It might sound simple. Just take a pill or go out in the sun, right? But the truth is, vitamin D works best when you understand how your body absorbs and uses it. Getting this part right can mean the difference between barely changing your levels and actually feeling your strength come back. Let's start with the most natural source, sunlight. When sunlight touches bare skin, it triggers a reaction that turns cholesterol in the skin into vitamin D3. From there, your liver and kidneys finish the process and activate it. But here's what many people don't realize. A few small details can make a big difference. First time of day matters. The best window is usually mid-morning to early afternoon, when the sun is high enough for ultraviolet B rays to reach the skin. Second, location and season count. If you live far from the equator, winter sunlight often isn't strong enough to produce any vitamin D at all. And third, exposure time. For most light-skinned adults, about 15 to 30 minutes of sun on arms and legs several times a week is enough. People with darker skin may need a bit longer because their skin naturally blocks more UV light. Of course, sunlight isn't always an option. Clouds, cold weather, or health conditions can keep you indoors. That's where diet and supplements come in. You can find natural vitamin D in a few foods. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are excellent sources. Egg yolks and liver contain small amounts too. Many foods today are fortified: milk, yogurt, some cereals, and even orange juice. But food alone rarely provides enough for older adults, which is why supplementation is often needed. When choosing a supplement, look for vitamin D3, also known as cholecalciferol. It's the same form your body produces from sunlight and is more effective than D2. Most people over 50 need anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 international units a day, but the exact amount depends on your blood levels. That's why it's best to get tested first. Now here's something many people overlook: absorption. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning your body can't use it properly unless you take it with food that contains healthy fats. A spoonful of olive oil, a few slices of avocado, or even a small piece of salmon can make a big difference in how much vitamin D your body actually absorbs. And it doesn't work alone. It partners closely with magnesium, a mineral that helps activate vitamin D in the liver and kidneys. Without enough magnesium, even high doses of vitamin D might stay inactive. Foods like almonds, spinach, pumpkin seeds, and whole grains are great natural sources. Of course, more is not always better. Too much vitamin D can raise calcium levels in the blood, which may cause problems if left unchecked. That's why doctors usually recommend checking your 25-hydroxy vitamin D level at least once a year if you take supplements regularly. The goal is to keep your levels in a healthy range, not too low, not too high. One more tip: consistency beats intensity. Taking a small daily dose with meals works far better than swallowing a giant tablet once in a while. Your body prefers steady support, not sudden spikes. So to sum it up, sunlight when you can, balanced diet always, and supplements if needed, but taken wisely. Combined with gentle exercise and good hydration, these small daily habits help your muscles rebuild, your bones stay strong, and your energy return. And here's the best part: it's never too late to start. In the next section, we'll see what happens when you give your body what it's been missing for years. The results can be surprisingly fast and deeply encouraging. Rebuilding strength after 50. When people hear the words muscle rebuilding, they often imagine bodybuilders in the gym lifting heavy weights. But real muscle renewal, especially after 50 or 60, looks very different. It's gentler, smarter, and more about consistency than intensity. And here's the hopeful truth: your body still has an incredible ability to rebuild, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Let me explain what happens when you finally give your muscles what they've been missing. When vitamin D levels return to normal, your body doesn't just feel better, it starts working better. Inside each muscle cell, new protein strands begin to form, repairing the fibers that were thinning with age. The nerves that control those muscles fire more efficiently. That means smoother movement, better balance, and faster reaction time. In real terms, it might look like this. You rise from a chair without needing to push off the armrest. You walk up a hill without that burning fatigue. You sleep better because your muscles recover during the night instead of aching. These small victories add up to something bigger: confidence, independence, and energy that feels like getting a few extra years back. And the amazing part is how quickly improvements can happen. Clinical research shows that with proper nutrition and mild resistance exercise, muscle strength can increase noticeably in as little as 8 to 12 weeks, even in people over 80. That's the power of giving your body the right building blocks. But remember, vitamin D isn't magic by itself. It works hand in hand with movement and protein. Without movement, the body has no reason to build muscle. You don't have to join a gym. Simple activities like walking, light resistance bands, body weight exercises, or even standing up from a chair multiple times a day can signal your muscles to grow. Protein provides the raw material, but vitamin D gives the instruction. Think of it like a construction site. Protein delivers the bricks, while vitamin D is the foreman saying, "Build here, build now." Without that direction, the bricks sit unused. And don't forget recovery. Muscles rebuild not during exercise, but after it, when you rest, sleep, and nourish your body. That's when vitamin D quietly does its job, turning on genes that repair tiny micro tears in the fibers and make them stronger. Over time, this combination of nutrients, sunlight, and gentle activity becomes a cycle of renewal. You move a little more, feel a bit stronger, and because you feel stronger, you move even more. Energy creates energy. Now, it's also worth mentioning that rebuilding doesn't mean becoming young again. It means becoming functional again. It's about being able to do what matters most to you, walking without fear of falling, gardening, playing with grandchildren, or simply waking up with the energy to enjoy your day. Those are not small things. They are the real rewards of caring for your body the right way. And if you've spent years feeling weaker or slower, don't lose hope. The human body is remarkably forgiving. It responds at any age, if you give it time, care, and the nutrients it's been craving. So as we close this journey, remember, aging doesn't have to mean decline. You can't stop the clock, but you can choose how you live within it. Strength, balance, vitality. They're not lost, they're waiting to be reawakened. Start with sunlight, add good food, keep moving, check your vitamin D levels, and most importantly, believe that your body still knows how to rebuild, because it truly does. And if you found this message inspiring, stay with us. We'll keep sharing doctor-backed ways to help you stay strong, clear-minded, and active for life.